Hello everyone, welcome to this week's stream. I'm going to be reviewing what activity happened, what happened basically in the Fedora project over the last week. So the idea is to gather everything that I can contact or that I can connect to in a page and then review that. So the tool that I'm using, I'm going to talk about the tool that I'm using, but first let's go into what has been generated this week. So that's gonna be here. So here is the page that has been generated by the tool. The final web page, yeah, I shouldn't mention that, by the way. The final web page is currently pushed to my Fedora people page. So it's, am I on the right click? Yeah, Fedora people. That's the one, Fedora people, abompar.fedorapeople.org, and that's the page that's where I upload the thing when it's done. But right now we're reviewing what has been generated for this week. So as you can see, what is officially up at the moment is April 6th to April 12th, and we're currently reviewing April 13th to April 19th. So let's go. This is what the tool has generated. Basically, it is looking at all the groups that are configured in the tool and gathering activity wherever that happens. Sometimes it's meetings on Matrix, sometimes it's discussions on Fedora discussions, sometimes it is mailing list discussions. So I'm gathering everything that I can find on these three platforms. Also have some extraction for some repo because some teams store their meetings as text files in a repo, so I can also do that. But without further ado, let's go to this week's. So what do we have today? What do we have for this week? So I'm going to read it out loud. Across the project, the overwhelming focus was on the final stages of the Fedora 44 release cycle. So, yeah, we know that. Following a go-no-go meeting, a release was delayed. The release was delayed due to outstanding blocker bugs, primarily related to the installer. All right. The decision triggered a widespread effort across many teams, including Quality Range, Workstation, KDE, Server, and ARM, to issue new release candidates and conduct intensive community testing and validation to resolve the blocking issues. While dealing with the immediate release, several groups also began planning for the future. A significant change proposal for Fedora 45 to build on x86 64v3 packages was a major topic for FESCO and ELN. Concurrently, FESCO also managed a significant issue in Rawhide by deciding to revert the disruptive OpenSSL 4.0 update to allow for better preparation. Other teams concentrated on community engagement, such as planning for Flock 2026 and refining internal processes like packaging guidelines and infrastructure automations. All right, so that's the summary. If you don't want to go any further, you can stay there. But let's go to the announcements. I think that part is at least very important. So the main news concerns the Fedora 44 release, right? So we had a go-to-go meeting on April 16th, and the release was declared no-go due to outstanding blocker bugs. Is it the same link? No, that's not. That's on Devil Announce, and that is on Devil Announce as well. Okay. The new target release date is April 28th, 2026. A correction was issued. Let me check the links. That's usually something that is wrong. So, right. A correction was issued for the time of the next blocker review meeting, which is now scheduled on Monday, April 20th. Looking ahead, a change proposal for Fedora 45 was announced to build packages for the x86 64v3 microarchitecture, which would improve performance on modern hardware. Very good. Let's go with it. The weekly community update detailed the ongoing work that led to these events, with the QE team focused on F44 final validation and blocker resolution. All right. The update also covered many progress on the migration to 4.0, including the new runners and automation, the F44 rebuild, for the RISC-V architecture, RISC-V architecture, sorry, routine maintenance and security fixes for the infrastructure and Nepal teams, and the UX team designs work for Flux 2026. Excellent. FESCO now. This week's FESCO held a significant meeting where the primary topic was a reconsideration of the OpenSSL for change in Rawhide. Due to ongoing issues, the committee decided to undo the change by untagging OpenSSL for the unrelated builds and appointed a shepherd to help the maintainers get the packaging in order for a future attempt. Other decisions including an update to non-responsive maintenance process and an approved exception to update NeoVim and libtree seeder in Fedora 43 and 44. Alright. In the forum, a major new change proposal for F44 was introduced. Yeah, we know about that one. We talked about that in the announcements. Alright. The interim discussion raised important questions about the impact on infrastructure resources, tooling support in DNF and Copper, and the need to support others, to support users on older hardware. Additionally, an update was posted to the ARC64 automatic DTB selection change. Okay, I don't know what that is. Looks interesting. With a link to new detailed installation instructions for Fedora 44 on ARM64 laptops. So, what were the decisions for this week? Request to handle non-responsive maintenance was approved. Okay. This is linked to the logs. I'm not sure that's very useful. Let me give you a better link. So that's the update to the non-responsive. Let's look for that. Non-responsive. Okay. That's the link. Is it the actual issue? That's only the non-responsive maintainer. That's not the update. Okay, so that looks like the actual change. Update non-responsive. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's the link that I want. So I'm going to wait a minute. I'm going to update the file. Content 0413. So what do we have? We have I'm on quality here. FESCO. Okay. All right, that's not the link that I want. Oh, a request to handle non-responsive was handled. Okay, so update to the non-maintainer. Okay, that's the one. That's the link that I want to update. And there was something about a non-responsive maintainer that was just above that. Yeah, that was the one. Yes. Okay, so let's Victortus. Okay, so let's update that. Let's update that link. That's better. Okay, what else? An exception to update libtree seeder and NeoVim in Fedora 44 and 43 was approved. Ah, that's still a log. Okay. Give me the actual link, please. Libtree seeder. Okay, I suppose. That's the one. Yes, that's the one. Sorry. And I see another link to the logs, and there's probably something better as a link. OpenSSL. Let's save the OpenSSL discussion for later in the meeting. Let's go there. Okay, that's the one. Yes, that's the one. Is that actually the 4-step plan and all that? Am I actually... Yeah, that's the 4-step plan. Okay, excellent, excellent. The link is correct now. Okay, so let me rebuild. Just a minute, let me just check that I'm not going to output something that you shouldn't see. Excuse me for a minute. Right, watch build. So, okay, so sorry, let me show you the screen again. So it's make watch build. Oh, no, I forgot, sorry. I'm gonna switch the scene again. And weeks back, that's the thing. Let me get back to there. Okay, so make watch build weeks back equal 1. All right, so now that's one. And now if I do content to 0413 and I save that. Oopsie, sorry about that. If I save that, it's rebuilding the thing. Okay, good, good, good. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Oops, nope. That means I should move and do some either exercise or something else. Anyway, so that's it. And we have a link to the FESCO team here if you want to know more. Packaging committee now. So they held a meeting to discuss a proposal to move to a new forge. Okay, let's all move to the forge. Let's all move to the forge. Excellent. Informed discussions, either proposed changing the default confirmation for DNF install to yes. While other contributors noted the potential risks, they also provided a local configuration workaround and suggested that the change request should be filed with the upstream DNF5 project. Makes sense. Another significant discussion centered on the Pinta package being outdated. In the Fedora repositories, it was clarified that updating the package is blocked because a newer version requires network access in violation with Fedora's packaging guideline. Absolutely. This highlights an ongoing package change for applications with certain build systems. Which build system is it? That's actually interesting. What build system is it using? What's Pinta, by the way? Sorry about that. Oh, NuGet. Okay. What's Pinta? I don't know what it is. Let's have a look. Yes, I am no robot. Thank you very much. No. What's Pinta? Okay. So, source, please. Pinta project. Painting main simple. Interesting. Drawing, image editing. Cool. Ooh, looks nice. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, actually. I didn't know about it. Interesting. Alright, explore the code. What language is that in? What's NuGet? What language? Oh, it's GTK Paint program. And it's written in C#. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Let me go back to what we were doing before. Sorry. All right. And yeah, begin. Okay, good. Mindshare now. During the Mindshare meeting of April 16th, community announcements were made. Schedule for Flux 26 is now live. The community is invited to nominate contributors. Okay, nice. The annual code of conduct reports for 2023 through 2025 have been published, offering insight into community health. Excellent. Okay. Approving budget, discussion, providing tablecloth. Okay. The request for a Fedora booth and speaker participation at Nerdirla. Sorry. Sorry if I mispronounced this. Okay, a budget approved for swag at Phil Solblum, no. Okay. Well, excellent. Looks like that's actual links, so well done. Ambassadors now. This week the ambassadors discussed an idea for shared Linux desktop booth at FROSCon 2026. Featuring Fedora, Debian and OpenSUSE, the proposal prompted by recent discussions in Europe about switching to Linux was met with general interest. The conversation covered the next steps such as finding volunteers and seeking official support from the Mindshare committee. It was also noted that the coordination should happen within the existing Fedora FROSCon planning channel, of course, to avoid duplicating efforts. Logistical questions were raised regarding how the shared space would be managed to ensure adequate room for all three distributions. Alright, nothing to say, that's perfect. Diversity and inclusion now. So they had a meeting. Oh, the meeting was cancelled due to low attendance. Okay. Participants were instead directed to engagement opportunity in the Fedora Mentor Summit. What's that? That's... Okay, that's a repository. What's the link to that? I don't see the link. I don't see a link. Anyway, a significant forum discussion. I would prefer seeing the link, please. Ah, there I see the link. Can you see still? Can you see? Yeah. Okay, links are there. Okay, a forum discussion, that's on discussions. Okay, and this Fedora Mentor Summit was on... Okay. Improving the Fedora Week of Diversity interviews. Conversation centered on making interview less templated and more personalized to better showcase contributors as individuals. The goal is to create more compelling human interest stories that could improve contributor retention and make the project more welcoming to newcomers, including younger people. Nice. The thread also briefly touched on the idea of featuring user stories and the edge of requirement for a Fedora account. Yeah. Okay. Workstation and GNOME now. This week's focus was heavily on the upcoming Fedora 44 release? Yeah, you bet. With 2 release candidates, excellent. SD1.3 being made available for community testing. A significant testing effort was requesting for the GNOME initial setup hang on NVIDIA hardware. All right, which appeared to be resolved in the latest builds thanks to community feedback and developer investigation. Another call for testing was made to investigate issues with encrypted installation on certain modern laptops. Opportunities for contribution were highlighted with the announcement of the upcoming Fedora 44 blocker review meeting. Additionally, the agenda for the next workstation working group meeting revised to focus on Fedora Magazine article, GNOME software updates, and establishing rotating chair for the group. Excellent. KDE now. This week's focus was heavily on the upcoming Fedora 44 release. Yep. Release candidate. A specific blah 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 blah. Contributors also invited to the review meeting. Significant issue arose for Fedora 43 users. The update to KDE Gear 2604 is currently blocked due to a dependency on new major version of GPGME, which conflicts with Fedora stable release policy. Various solutions are being explored, but for now the update is on hold. Additionally, a discussion continued regarding feedback on the bug reporting workflow, with clarification on how KDE's Dr. Kunki and Fedora's ABRT reporting tool intended to coexist. No formal decisions were taken this week. I can totally remove that. Where am I? Ambassadors, GNOME, KDE. Okay, I can remove the no formal decisions thing because that's not useful to anyone. Okay, server. The main focus for the server group this week was the upcoming 44. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Of course, the weekly meeting. That's the action link. Team discussed release testing, the status of very sensible projects, and the idea of offering a beginner guide to Fedora server. Okay. A specific request was made for testing encrypted installations to investigate potential blocker bugs related to graphics at the Lux passphrase screen. Excellent. Takeover in the next Fedora server meeting. I don't think that's not a link to the next Fedora server meeting. It makes no sense to have a link here. Yeah, it makes no sense. Like, this makes no sense. I'm going to remove that. Okay. Infrastructure now. The infrastructure team is regular daily stand-ups, yup, and its weekly meeting, yup, focusing on ticket reviews. That's right. Yeah, that's right. April 16th and April 13th. Key announcements included that the Fedora 44 final freeze is in effect and that the team member Nirik will be out until April 27th. The team also began refining all the tickets from the backlog on the mailing list. Automated notifications were sent to administrators of the Community Shifts project, reminding them that their project will be disabled and deleted 1 month after the next Fedora release as part of the standard post-release process. Two significant discussions took place on forums. A new topic was starting proposing a plan to support automation with fast authentication. I should look at that. Using the Auth2 device authorization grant, which would allow for more secure self-service automation for contributors. Interesting. I need to read that. Additionally, a heated discussion continued regarding the quality and reliability of a public mirror in South Korea. Users reported persistent technical issues and questioned the operator's practices, while the operator denied the claims, leading to a broader community conversation with more evidence and perspectives being shared. All right. Relish now. This week's activity for Relish Group centered on the preparations for the upcoming Fedora 44 final release, of course. Yeah. The weekly meeting covered scheduled tasks and reviewed a few specific tickets. The most significant event was the Fedora 44 blocker review meeting, of course. Several proposed blockers were evaluated and a number of freeze exceptions were approved to incorporate important fixes for bugs and CVEs. A community discussion also highlighted that the F44 release schedule may need updating. Contributors are encouraged to participate in the next Fedora 44 blocker review meeting on April 20th. Yes. Because that one was Fedora, on 13th. You can review and vote on the proposed blockers. Wait, is that outside of the range for this week? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's outside of the range, but it did pick up the right link. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, okay. Decisions. So during the blocker review meeting, the following decisions were made. Rejected as final blockers, okay. Accepted as final freeze exceptions, okay. I think they're all correct, right? Yes, that's all Bugzilla tickets. So I think there's no errors there. Okay. Quality now. This week's focus was, of course, the blocker review meeting, the official final gonna go meeting, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Fedora 44 release was declared no-go for the April 21st target date. It's postponed, set for Tuesday, 20th of April. 28th. The next Gonna Go meeting is scheduled for the 23rd. Accept blocker bugs. Rejected blocker bugs. Accepted freeze exceptions. Okay. Next XDG desktop portal and Libra. Very good. Design now. They held their weekly meeting to discuss several ongoing projects. The key topics include clarifying the ownership of a Fedora logo transparency bug. Okay. Providing, okay. From discussions asked if the F45 wallpaper process was on track. Bug reporting workflow. Okay. Is that redesign? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm going to remove that part. I think somebody tagged the design team, but it's not really their problem. Well, maybe it is, but I think they haven't said anything. So let me remove that part. So it was determined that the Fedora logo transparency bug is an issue within the workstation group extension. Okay. 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 Internationalization. They had their weekly meeting. Okay. Review ongoing work. Tracking of font-related bugs. Preparing for F44 changes. The migration to Fedora Forge. For contributors, new translation opportunity was announced on the mailing list. Excellent. RHC, command line tune, new component targeting rel, Fedora and CentOS streams now available for translation on Weblate. Excellent. Team also continues to triage bugs for Fedora 42. Okay, a design ticket was created to address. Okay. All right. Copper now. The Copper community attention was drawn to a user-reported issue mailing list. Okay, persistent build failures. Okay. Apple. Weekly meeting. The team highlighted the Open Steering Committee issues. Okay. Excellent. And the pending documentation pull requests as area that needing attention and review. The meeting also included an open floor discussion for general topics. Okay. ELN now. They had one meeting, focused on several significant future changes. Discussion continued on the plan for the upcoming OpenSSL transition, OpenSSL 4 transition, with a related FESCO ticket. Okay. They reviewed the ongoing effort to include the x86-64 v3 architecture support. Okay, branding update, other adjustments. Other topics included bootc integration. All right, Atomic now. An older forum discussion regarding the changes of using systems still with OK. The core issue raised in 2021. Okay. No new solutions or workaround. A user renewed interest in the topic, asking for updates with a specific. Okay. No new solutions or workaround were provided in the thread. Okay. CoreOS now. The CoreOS, they had their weekly meeting. Okay. discussed using Afterburn. The author of Pyromaniac. Okay. A separate very old forum topic from 2020 concerning a memory leak issue was closed after receiving new replies as the information was no longer relevant to current maintained release. I don't think that's really useful to mention. Let's just remove that. I should probably, yeah, no. I was thinking I could maybe remove the one about Atomic as well, but on the other hand, if nobody provided the update or solution or workaround, it may be a good idea to raise attention on this issue. So I'll keep it. Oh. ELN CoreOS, there we go. Okay. A pilot program will be initiated to use Afterburn for generating blah blah blah. Agreed upon in the meeting. Okay. IoT now. They held their weekly what the IoT group held its weekly Fedora IoT working group meeting, which focused on reviewing. Okay. A standing item on the agenda with a review of open issues and general bugs, which remain primary place for consumer contributors to engage with the team and help improve the discussion. Okay. ARM. This week the group's focus was on the final stages of the Fedora 44 release cycle. Yes, of course. Okay. Yep. Kernel now. The Fedora kernel team announced. Let me check that it's actually correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Okay, the Fedora kernel team announced that the OS build branch of the kernel arc has been rebased. Okay, recurring maintenance task. Okay. The process, while causing minor inconvenience every few months, is crucial for maintaining transparency and ensuring that Fedora's patches are easy to manage and apply to other trees. Well done. The OS build branch will continue its cadence, being rebased every upstream kernel release. The latest rebase has been completed. Well, and that's not really a decision. I can remove that part, I think. Yeah, I can remove that part. That's not really a decision, you see. It's just something that happened. Okay. RISC-V, the RISC-V SIG held its weekly meeting focusing on progress for the Fedora 44 release architecture. Okay, status of the package build. Strategy around creating Omni. Okay, that's the same link. So let's look at the rebuilds. There are no tickets, no direct link here. Okay, so that's not more useful. Well, I should just add the, yeah. Okay, what I'm going to do, instead of having multiple, the same link multiple times, it points to the, no, that doesn't work. Unfortunately, I can't really use Unfortunately, I can't really point to lines in the logs because it's not really reliable. Okay, so I'm gonna do weekly meeting. And I'm going to remove the link from the 2 points. Status of the Fedora package rebuilds. Strategy around creating Omni kernels. Okay. So the weekly meeting is here now. Okay, and the process for generating official release compose with Bungie. Okay. Okay. Security. They have a weekly meeting as well. Open for discussion. Okay, during the meeting, several open tickets available in the main security forge. Okay, and the security docs forge. Okay, good. Separately, a discussion was starting on the SE Linux mailing lists regarding missing policy rules. Okay, no formal decisions that can be removed. Okay, what else now? Perl. Activity in the Perl group and routine package maintenance. Okay, several key module, blah, blah, blah. Okay, okay. Perl CGI struct was updated to use the modern PDX license format, aligning with broader Fedora project goals. Okay, they were all reviewed and merged. Okay, excellent. I'm gonna assume that all the links are correct this time. Ruby. The Ruby SIG centered on the discussion about packaging Ruby gem cucumber messages. Okay. Proposed guideline change. Okay. Proved an exception. Okay. Excellent. Other discussions. Yeah, I don't like when there's a new line between them. Yeah, really not big fan of this. Oopsie. Okay. So, let's go back to the beginning of this. Other discussions. In a column, proposed method for building and signing alternate kernel modules. Interesting. What were the tags for this? Is it security? No, it's just engineering, so that's fine. Ramalama, that's more of AI stuff, right? Mentioned project team. Okay, that's not. A discussion about Ramalama covered its use with various registries and issue of model hallucinations. You can mitigate using the temp0 flag for deterministic output. Okay. Offers more direct control over AI models, which has different kind of fun rather than boring. That's funny. It's not boring, it's a different kind of fun. A request for a translator to add the Georgian translation to Python's simple line. Okay, should that be... What mailing list is that? It's in Anaconda Devil. Yeah, I should remove that, right? I'm not sure we want to have the Anaconda Devil. Well, maybe. Okay, so the announce of the Fedora 44 blocker review, we've had that many times. So I'm going to remove that. Deprecation of PER and PCL, really? In favor of modern tools like Composer and PI. It's been a while since I've followed PHP. I should add for PHP. Okay. Starting in favor of PSL command with blade. Okay. Well, there are no immediate plans to remove the PHP PER package. Developers are encouraged to migrate to the newer tools. Excellent. Center correction, clarifying that the broker. Yeah, we've had that already. Fedora 44 release was released a no-go, we know that. Announcement was made for Fedora, okay, no-go meeting. So in the discussion about Fedora 44 testing, a user reported a slick flickering issue on the ThinkPad, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. Benson muted, announced a license correction for profanity. Okay. Okay, other topics include change proposal for... Yeah, we've heard about that one. include announcement on the logistics list, okay. A cross post about PER and PSCL declaration, okay. I should probably make a list specific for PHP on PHP devel, no? Let me just a second. Let me remove the screen just a second. So, yeah, let me not remove that right now. For next time, I'm going to create a group for PHP in the configuration. So we have Perl, right? So now let's say we have PHP. I'll check that later. Icon is going to be file code. Discussion tags is going to be PHP. Mailing list is PHP devel. Yeah. Does this link actually work? Let me check. Did I actually follow? Oh, it's Alt click. Alt and click. No. Do we have an actual link for PHP group? Packaging 6 PHP, that's the one. Yes. That will be the group. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, they should be represented. That would be just normal. Excellent. So I'll have that up for next time. In the meantime, let me get back to the other discussions thing. Okay. So include a discussion about the project to build alternate kernels on the devel list. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. So what do we have? A temporary Fedora matrix, okay, matrix server outage, nice. The upcoming PHP license change to BSD3 clause, nice. Build failure to a new dependency on glibc, okay. Inappropriate package update with a surname bump. A linking issue with static Rust library and libc. A confirmation that GNOME initial setup, we've heard about that one before, no? Appears to be resolved. Oh, confirmation that, well, let's check the dates, right? Because we have one link that says that it's resolved, the other link that says that it's not resolved. Not fixed. It's the 12th of April, and there. That's the 14th of April. Okay. Looks resolved on the 16th of April. Okay, so I can remove the link that says that it's still there. That will be confusing. A revived thread asking for updates for packaging Electron apps. Okay, broken DNF. Well, let me do that properly and go and do it here. So, a DNF in Rawhide due to mismatch RPM version, a lengthy debate on whether to move the high volume of automated reports email off the main devel list. Okay. So orphaning packages. They orphan several Python packages. Okay. Martin, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Just Kiewicz? I'm not sure. Filed a series of non-responsive maintenance tickets for packages with pull requests that were several months old. Okay. Okay, yeah. Good. All right, that's interesting. Package updates now. Update line in Rawhide. However, it called wasprate build failure. Okay. Fesco decided to revert. Okay. Well, it's still a package update. I mean, we've heard about it already, but it's still a package update, so I'm going to keep it here. Okay, I mean, that's pretty good. Whew! I think we have a good, I think we have the right, we have a good page here. Let me see what the output was for the last time. It was, there's still, yeah, this link appears many times, but that's logical. Okay. Let's upload it. And it should appear here pretty quick. Hopefully. It works? Yes, it works. All right, so this new page should have, yes, it does. Okay, good. So we have from April 13 to April 19, and we have what we just looked at. And next time, I'm gonna have a section for PHP right here, because that's not fair. We want to have all the languages represented fairly. Okay, I hope you like the new icons. I've put that, I did that last week. I think it's nicer because you can see the sections more clearly than before. I've also added something that I think is very important. That would be that's the links with the info icon. Learn more about the FESCO team, because that's really something that you can use if you want to get involved. For example, I want to be involved in design, and I can click here and it says learn more about the design team. You get a link to there. You have the about it, the join us section, and I want to be involved in, I don't know, CoreOS, for example, or IoT. I can click there, and there's the IoT section with built by you, report, discuss issues, join the mailing list, etc., etc. So yeah, that's pretty good. I like it. And that's it. So I'm gonna announce it, and then again I'll see you probably next week to review what will happen this week. It's gonna be, well, we're nearing the release, so a lot of things are happening at the same time, and I think it's pretty cool to be able to review all that. So thanks for passing by, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.